Excited just to see me, wish I felt the same way. Later on she'll probably get a name change. People changing on me like they gain weight. I wish that I waited on the same thing. Hey, I'm still at the top of...
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. For those of you that don't know, my name is Antonio Matwire. I have a BMW 340i and today I'm going to be wrapping the interior with carbon fiber wrap. So as I said before, we will be wrapping the interior in carbon fiber wrap. Currently the interior is kind of the silver tone. I'm not a huge fan, so I want to go ahead and wrap it in carbon fiber. I think it's gonna look a lot better. So let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like right now. So as you guys can see, it's kind of like this silver tone. It's kind of textured as well. Just not really a huge fan. And also, whoever owned this vehicle before me kind of beat it up a little bit. As you can see, there's lots of like little scrapes and cuts. Also down here, as you can see, it's not the cleanest. There's like little scrapes and whatnot, and just overall the color I'm not really feeling. So this is the carbon fiber wrap that I'm going to be using. It looks really good, to be honest. It almost looks like real carbon fiber. I think it's going to look even better when it's on the pieces that I'm going to be wrapping today. I did buy this off of Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to pick some up yourself. This is a 3 foot by 5 feet that I bought, so I should have more than enough wrap to get everything wrapped today. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get all these trim pieces off, and I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. All right guys, so before we even get started, you are going to want some trim removal pieces. I got these from Amazon as well. I'll leave a link in the description for everything used in this video. So you're going to want to get some trim removal pieces just like this, and we'll start with this one up here. So you're pretty much just going to take your trim removal piece, whichever one you're using, and just work it behind here, and it should start coming off just a little bit. I usually like to, you know, pry and then hold one side with my fingers and then get the other side, so that way it comes off easier. And then just like that, as you can see, this is going to come off as one whole piece. So just work it, and be careful when you get further down this way, because it does get thin, so you want to make sure it doesn't snap. So just be very careful and then guide it all the way down, just like that. And now when you get this piece off, there are going to be some cords right behind here. All right, and for this portion right here with these buttons, it's kind of hard to get to, as you can see. So what I usually do is just pop this portion out like so, and then as you can see, it's just hanging, and it makes it a lot easier to unplug from here. So just like that. So once you're done unplugging everything, you're just going to feed the wires through the hole. And then there's this piece. All right guys, so for this piece down here, pretty much the same concept. You're gonna take your trim removal piece. This one might actually be a little big, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to a thinner one. Perfect. So as you can see, this one's pretty thin. I'm able to get it underneath here. I usually start right here. As you can see, there's like a little break in the plastic from where the plastic meets the leather. So if you just put it right there on that point, you can get it right underneath. And then same thing, just kind of pry it and then try to get your fingers underneath it. So as you can see, that one comes up as well. And then you are going to want to unplug this cord right here, because this is your iDrive buttons right here. So just go ahead and pull that one, just like that. And then you have this portion ready to wrap. Don't worry about the buttons for right now. I'll let you guys know how to remove the buttons further along in the video. So as far as these ones on the handles, you're just gonna have to work with. I know here on the bottom, they have a little hole right there. You're supposed to be able to put something in there and pull back a little metal piece in order to disengage it. But regardless, whether you pull that back or not, there's still clips all the way up this handle. So you're gonna have to kind of like snap it off. I'll show you guys on one that I already took off, so you guys can better understand the little clip I'm talking about down here. But all in all, when you take this off, you're probably gonna have to get like a trim tool in between the trim and the door handle and kind of just like pry it off, because like I said, there are multiple clips. But let me go ahead and show you the one that I already did. So to give you guys a better understanding, like I said, as you can see, there are multiple clips. like right there, right here, that hold these in place. So you are gonna have to snap those off. Not snap, but you're gonna have to use some pressure and pull them off. But as far as the little hole with the little clamp, as you can see right there, see how that plastic piece is right behind this metal piece? So that's what I mean by that. You won't be able to pull this off until you disengage that metal piece right there. You could just pull it like so and then just potentially bend this, but I wouldn't do that because you don't want to snap that, you don't want to break that. So I would try, like I said, just work with it. Try to get your trim tool in here so where you can at least see the metal and then where it's exposed, and then after you can already see this little metal clamp, then put something underneath in the hole and then try to disengage it that way. That's the way I did it. Seemed to be easier than just trying to go straight for the hole right in the beginning, because it is difficult. So like I said, just work with it and it'll come off in one piece. Lastly, you want to make sure you get this one right here. This one's really easy to get off. I could probably do it without a trim removal tool, but I'm just gonna use my fingers and I feel it coming. Yep. And just like that, that one comes off as its own piece, just like that. All right, so as you guys can see, I have got all the trim pieces off. I got all 4 of the door handle trim pieces off. I got the middle console area. I got the dash area. And those are the only pieces that I'm going to be wrapping today. I might get this off and I might attempt to wrap this as well. Not 100% sure, but I'll go ahead and show you guys how to get it off just in case you're wanting to wrap it. So pretty much the same deal as everything else. You're just gonna get a trim removal tool and then just kind of work it back behind there. And as you can see, it already kind of lifted. You wanna do the same thing to the other side. Work it in there. Come on. There you go. It kind of lifts right there. And this is a very, very thin piece. So be very careful as you're working it or trying to pry it off. You don't want to like snap any of the clips behind it or snap the piece as a whole. So just very carefully work it off. Don't honk the horn at somebody. It's coming off. You're going to work it all the way down to the bottom. And it comes off just like that. So along with the steering wheel trim, I also want to show you guys how to get off of this portion as well, just in case you wanted to wrap this as well. Super easy. What I do is just put a little trim removal tool right underneath this portion, but this is connected to this, so just be mindful of that. So when you're pulling up on this whole portion should come out. So I'll show you guys. Just pull up, oh, just like that. Came up pretty easy. And just like that, this portion comes off. Now, I will show you guys inside how to remove these little doohickeys right here to get just this silver portion off to get it wrapped, but more to come inside. So with that being said, I'm going to take all my pieces and my wrap inside to where it's a little bit more comfortable, a lot more room, get everything wrapped up and show you guys that process. So I will catch you guys inside. All right, so we're currently inside. I have everything I need laid out on my trim pieces. And then I have my carbon fiber wrap, 3 feet by 5 feet, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I have a box cutter or just any razor will be fine. I have some tools right there because I'm going to need some tools to get the buttons off that middle console, and I'm also going to probably need some tools to get these off as well. I have my rubbing alcohol and my microfiber cloth. You're going to need that because you want to really make sure all these pieces are clean before you wrap them. So everything you're planning on wrapping, wipe it down with rubbing alcohol so that 1, you know it's clean and there's nothing underneath your wrap, and 2, you'll get the best adhesion when you do wrap it to the surface. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe use a heat gun. Wrapping material is a lot more pliable and I guess easier to work with when it's warm or heated up. So I actually have a heat gun in the garage. I'll go ahead and grab it, but make sure that's also one of the items that you're using because it'll make your life a whole lot easier. All right, so I grabbed my heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, it's perfectly fine. Using a hair dryer will pretty much do the same exact thing. So if you don't have a heat gun, borrow your mom, your girlfriend, your wife's hair dryer, and then you're good to go. So I'm actually going to start by wiping all of my pieces down with some rubbing alcohol and a microfiber cloth, and just make sure everything's nice and clean. All right, so everything has been wiped down, and the first piece that we're going to start with is the biggest piece. So either one of these two, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the one that goes on the dash. So we'll go ahead and start here. Now I'm not gonna be going too in depth on every little detail on how to wrap each individual piece, because I do have another video on that. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out, I'll leave a link up here somewhere. But it was on my old 428i. I actually wrapped the interior carbon fiber as well. So I go a bit more in depth in that video. But for the sake of this video, I'll just go ahead and highlight, you know, things to look for, very important details. But other than that, I'm just going to kind of try to fly through it. All right, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and kind of approximate how much wrap we're going to need for this piece right here. All right, so I went ahead and made my cut. I went ahead and grabbed this poster board just to alleviate from all like the hair from the carpet and just any other dust that might be in the carpet from getting on the wrap material and on the sticky side of the wrap material. So if you guys want to like put down a box or something, it'd probably be a good idea. One thing to note when you're wrapping, as you can see, the carbon fiber pattern goes in one direction. So if you wrap it like this, as you can see, the direction will be going down left. And if you wrap it long ways, as you can see, the carbon fiber will be going down and to the right. So just be mindful of that when you're wrapping all the pieces. You want them to be uniform and all have the same pattern and the carbon fiber material or the carbon fiber pattern going the same direction. So I actually ran into a little issue. So like I said previously, the owner before me kind of scratched this up pretty good. And even you can see that through the wrap, even though there are very little scratches. And also, not to mention that this is like textured material, if you can hear that. So it's actually really hard for the wrapping material to actually stick to this surface just because it's textured. So what I'm probably gonna have to end up doing is sanding this down, making it nice and smooth, and then sanding away the little scratches and chips as well before I even apply the wrap. So I'll go ahead and sand a little portion of this and just test it and see if the wrap material sticks a little better. So that way it'll let me know if I have to sand every single piece, excluding the ones that are already smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the pieces that I can, the ones that are already smooth, like this one. I'll go ahead and wrap along with this piece right here. And then as far as the other pieces, I'm gonna have to sand them all down, make sure they're nice and smooth, clean them up real nice, and then I'll be able to wrap them. With that being said, I went ahead and cleaned off this piece. As far as the back side, it has these little rings on these little holes. So all you do, I already got one off. All I used was some needle nose pliers, grabbed it, and then literally pulled up and it came off just like that. So this is like probably like aluminum. It bends pretty easy in the middle. So as you're applying pressure to pull it up, it'll come right off. So after removing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big ones, there's these little ones, but you don't have to remove those because those can just slide right out. So after removing those, it'll come right out just like that. So as you can see, I'm done wrapping this piece. It looks pretty good. It gave me no issue like the other pieces did. Like I said, it was smooth surface, so the wrap had no problem sticking to it. I went ahead and put everything back on the backhand side. So to get them on is the same way to get them off, how you just pulled up to get them off. Same thing, like I said, this material is like aluminum, I'm pretty sure. So you literally just pop it on and it just pretty much forms around the little circle. And then that one's good to go. All right, so I got done with this portion as well. Once again, since this was one of the smooth pieces, I was able to wrap it, no problem. The material stuck. So what I'll probably do is end up reinstalling that along with this in my car, and then probably have to go to the store, buy some sandpaper to smooth the other pieces before I wrap them. But for now, I'll just work with what I have and go ahead and reinstall these pieces. So that being said, I'll go ahead and go to the store, grab some smoothing sandpaper, smooth down all the other pieces before I wrap them. I don't know if I have time to do everything today, but if not, I'll just finish up tomorrow. So let's head to the store. All right, guys, so I'm back from the store and I ended up getting some sandpaper. I got medium grit and fine grit. I'm gonna start with the finish. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go to the smooth. But hopefully with the finish, it'll make it smooth enough to where we can get, you know, this raised material off. So I already started down here earlier. It's pretty scratched up as you can see because I used the remove coarse grit. So hopefully with the finishing, I can go ahead and make that nice and smooth and get the rest of it smooth. So that way I can get it ready for some wrap. All right, guys, so it looks like the finishing 180 grit got this pretty smooth. After we wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol, I'll go ahead and try to wrap it and see if it sticks to the smooth surface better than it did before I sanded it. So this piece actually came out really good. Sanding it helped a lot. So once again, I used the finishing 180 grit sandpaper to sand away the textured material. And once I did that on this piece, the wrap material adhered to the piece a lot better. So what I'm gonna do is end up sanding all of these pieces. I already wrapped this one as well, as you can see. Came out super, super good. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand these other pieces. And once they're all nice and smooth, I'll continue to wrap them and keep you guys updated. All right, guys, so the rest of the pieces are sanded, but I'm gonna go ahead and sand this one. And I can't do that until these buttons are removed, just because I don't want to scratch up any of these buttons. So that being said, if you flip it around, you'll see 3 screws, and that's how you remove this whole portion of buttons right here. And it's going to be a T20. So I'm going to go ahead and use a T20 on all 3 of these. And then once I unscrew them, the whole middle area should just pop out. So I went ahead and removed the T20 screws, and as you can see, it just comes out in one portion like that. Go ahead and set the screws aside. You're gonna need those later, obviously. But then there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and sand this piece and get it ready for wrap. Finished up wrapping this one as well. Came out really good. Went ahead and reinstalled the buttons already. So like I said, we're just gonna keep it pushing. All right, so I'm done with that piece as well. I have 3 more pieces to go, and it's just the 3 door handles, and then I'll be completely done. All right, so I got all my pieces finished, so I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall them back in the car. It's already nighttime, so I'll wait till the morning time to give you guys a little cinematic and show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, so it's the next day. Everything's reinstalled. Just make sure when you reinstall everything, as far as the dash, make sure you're hooking up those wires accordingly. So your hazard and your unlock and lock button, there's a cord for that, and there's also a cord that goes above that. Then snap it back into place, as well as your middle console area. Make sure you're reconnecting that iDrive for your buttons. But other than that, just snap all the other trim back into place. There's no other wires required for any of the other trim. So with that being said, let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. So there you guys have it. As you guys just saw, the wrap looks super good. It's actually one of the better wraps that I've seen. It actually looks very similar to like real carbon fiber, especially in the sunlight. It even has that little, almost like a little sparkle to kind of give it that fiber material look. But it looks really, really good. I'm completely happy with all the pieces that I did. Everything turned out fantastic. Like I said, and like you guys saw, I did have to sand down all of these pieces just to make sure that the wrap material actually stuck to the surface. But other than that, everything came out great. The only downside to my interior now is everything looks really dark because it's literally black on black. So the carbon fiber is obviously dark, it's black, you know, and then the trim in this particular BMW happens to be black as well. So what I mean by that is some BMWs come with like silver, red, blue trim, but this one came with the pieces being silver and then the little shiny trim pieces being black. So now that I've covered the silver pieces with black carbon fiber, the black on black just makes my interior look super dark. It's not a huge deal, but I probably will find something in the future to kind of brighten up my interior. But just like that, that wraps up today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video or it helped you out in any way, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. You don't want to miss future mods on this BMW 340i. And just like that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.